Incremental ratings. It's been 4 years already with Supermemo. Well, slightly more. But in this collection, turned 4 years. Yes, I'm 5 days late because I have a life. I was not able to shoot this on the same day. In my milestones, each year, I share my stats. But the last ones, I said, yeah, there's no point in sharing those stats, right? There's nothing meaningful. Why now I'm sharing these stats today? Because I have done different things that I never did before, and therefore the stats have changed, and I think it's worth mentioning this. So let's start with just a statistics window. My retention rate has been decreased, and even that below 95%, which is like the default, which equals to 10% of the forget index, and it's slightly above that. What's the reason for this? Easy. I have done repetitions on items that were outstanding for a long while. Very, very long while. And I still have, let's say, oh my god, I have 12,000 outstanding items. So, yeah, 12,000. That means that if I concentrate my efforts to go through the outstanding queue, especially for items, it's very likely the rotation will still decrease. Then you will notice now that, look at that, look at the memorized items, 18,000. That has increased a lot since last year. Well, at some degree, because I have that in different collections that I merged. Because now I only have one single collection. Even though I have deleted or transferred some items to Anki. And as a consequence, the memorized per day has increased. I think I had about between 5 and 6 items per day in most of my videos that I did last year. Now it's 12. But there's a consequence, because I'm creating more items per day. It's not 12, it's more than that. Because the average is 12, but I was coming from 5. That means that what you did is actually higher, which the average is in the middle, it's 12. But this had a direct consequence, is that I don't rep them. I create those items, but I don't see them again. They are just going to the outstanding queue. Because on the recent days, should I say recent months, I had a lot less time, and I was in the mood for creating, going through the new stuff. Let's just do that. So I haven't gone through the outstanding queue much in the last 3 months or so. So that's why those are changing the stats. Look at the element count. Then, memorized topics, I only have about 21,000, but I have 38,000 topics. The difference are the dismissed topics, the non-memorized. And it's very rare for me to dismiss topics. If I dismiss a topic, it's because I apply done. That means that all of those, the difference, I have about 17 or so folders. Massive. And then, since I created a lot of items recently, the average repetition per item has decreased from about 4 reps to 2.2. The rep count hasn't been increased significantly, because when you create the flashcard, the item, it counts as a topic repetition. And this is not counted, it's just item repetitions. I had this dismissed, 17,000, yeah. No pending queue, and so on. Now let's go to the analytics. So this is more weird, that in this interval, about 112 and 50, the recall is a lot lower. Could be very likely because of the items that I have seen recently, the few that I did, and were standing for a long while, were in this range of the interval. That's why I'm performing significantly worse. Then, let's go to the use. Yeah, forgetted index is getting slightly higher than before. You can see the item burden has increased dramatically. So I can guarantee that I started this flow in late May up to late June, more or less. I only created. I haven't reviewed anything. because it was at the boot, and then it's, oh, you know what? I also want to see the effects, so why not? As an experiment. And this also takes in especially the item count for items. Yes, I have deleted another in bulk across the years, but if I zoom, look at this. Those are the items I created in a very short period of time. Massive. And at some degree, whatever it is, whatever priority is higher than 33%, so that's 2/3 of the lower priority range, I have used AI on purpose. Then I want to know the quality. Do I remember those cards? Do I get what I'm being asked? So the formulation, all of that. So I'm running a lot of tests at the same time. Yeah, the priority protection, it's close to zero. And it has been for topics close to zero for 2 years. Yeah. So, when was the last time that I finished the outstanding queue in this collection? Easy answer. Never. Absolutely never. It should be 100%. For topics, I absolutely never finished the outstanding queue. Not a single day in this collection. And for items, I did. Especially at the beginning, because I had just very few items. And sometimes because I genuinely did this, but I split the collection. So I had no outstanding queue for English items and so on, which made it a lot easier to achieve that. And at some point, is because I did postpone or mercy. I have used this twice in this collection. And the last time was more or less by Christmas. Yeah. Well, no. December 2022. So it's been more than a year and a half that I don't finish the standing queue for items. Including cheating, including postponing and all of that, including this. In reality, it's more than that. And let's see what else is worth sharing. Yeah, the grade. What happens with the grade versus the forgetting index? There's not much difference. It's between 2.5 and 3. How so? Because now I only use 2 ratings. 3 as the default passing rate and 1 as the filling rate. Let's see. Then distributions. What is now, because I have created so many items that most of the items are not lapsed. But hey, this can be misleading. It's not because I'm memorizing a lot. In fact, my retention rate has decreased below 95%. What happened is that some thousands of items have no repetitions. So it's impossible to have lapsed. I never seen that yet. So take this into consideration. And the same for repetitions. There will be, look at that. I have 10,000 items which I only created them. There's no single repetition at all. And the fourth goes higher, interestingly, and it's just with the float, the rate I created the flashcards. So, because at a certain point I didn't create much flashcards at some point in the collection, I focus on the reading, and I use Supermemo a lot less with time because I was very busy. So makes sense until I don't do those because are still outstanding. That means that if I had done the outstanding queue religiously, it will be very likely that the 2 and 3 are like higher. And I have this graph. Well done, sorry. This graph up to 2 and the 1 will be very low because I will have done the first repetition already in most of the items. The first genuine repetition as an item form. Difficulties are about the same as before, no much meaningful change. The A factors have decreased. I had about 5 point something last year, and it's 3.9. It's almost 4. And it's because it's the same thing. I created a lot of items, and I'm lapsing those items recently. So the average is decreasing, but it's not a big deal. It's response. Everything made sense. It's like a person if you go to the doctor and you have high cholesterol, hypercholesterolemia. Yeah, then as a consequence, the blood pressure will increase because there's less space. Uh, if you have high blood pressure, you may have headaches or da 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 da. Everything goes in consonance. Makes sense, all of that. So same here, because I have done a lot of items and I have neglected a lot of items in the outstanding queue. All of these will be a consequence. And I think that's pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much it. And just one final, the work calendar. Look at this. So sometimes this is new items. Some days I don't create any item at all for 129, because that day I focus on a subset. And it's not because with this subset I can create flashcards right away. It's what I have done the days before. I have created a lot of extracts that are one repetition away from creating the closed deletion. So if it was cooking, I do all of the prep work. I cut the vegetables, I clean the vegetables, slice, and all of that. So once it comes the day that I want to cook, everything is prepped is a lot quicker. So take this into mind. This will be a lot of work if I start from scratch. So remember this, that can be misleading. That this was achieved with previous work. Let me make this bigger right away. And it's the same thing. Look at this. A lot of days it's almost zero, and then a lot of items are concentrated. It's because it's time constraints. If you noticed, look those days. What are those? Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Is when I have more time. Because I work full time. By circumstances, I work above full time recently. Then I have some side hustle as well, here and there. And I have shot a lot of videos for this channel, which at some degree I sacrificed more than half of my time. That means that half of the sessions of Supermemo, instead of using Supermemo for my own learning, I have been shooting and editing videos instead. I think that covers more or less the average, the overview. And yeah, just to let you know that the stats is not something religious that you need to follow or you need to aim at. Hey, I need to aim at that many repetitions, that many, I don't know, whatever accumulates this. No, this is just for you to assess or analyze this data and make informed decisions. That, oh, wait a second. The rotation rate is decreasing way too much. Then I will take action on that. Let me prioritize going through the outstanding queue above creating items and still neglecting the outstanding queue. It's way too much. It's going downhill. And the others are just descriptive. Okay, good to know I have that many items or that many total elements, but that's it. Yeah, not I see the speed has increased. But again, it's an illusion because I'm neglecting those items that I have created are empty. So what I will do next is that I will focus on going through the outstanding queue. I plan to shoot some videos going through the outstanding queue as an genuine example of what I will do during my Supermemo sessions. Not to finish it, but to reduce it. So instead of 12,000, to have 2,000 items, which more or less is what I had most of the time in the collection. Let me know if you have some questions in the comments, and I could answer this. But I think for the average viewer, I covered everything that is meaningful to share. Nothing more to add today, and see you incrementally.